Hey, peace and power, it's Buc Ballzy. You know me from Kush and Chemtrails. Check us out weekly, kushandchemtrails.com. But look, I'm just hitting you up because Dro TV's where it's at. Make sure you're checking out Dro TV for all of my first time interviews. Man, what's better than my first time? Come on, Dro TV. What up, Mike?
Welcome to My First Time, the show about your first time getting high on marijuana. I'm your host, Mike Freeman with Dro TV. Today, I'd like to welcome our guest, Buc Ballzy. What's happening, my friend?
Hey, how's it going, Mike? Glad to be here, brother.
Yes, thank you for coming on Dro TV today. You can find more of Buc Ballzy as the co-host of the Kush and Chemtrails podcast, so you can check that out at kushandchemtrails.com. But also, you can follow him on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It's the one and only Buc Ballzy. So all the links will be in the description below. Dude, thanks again for giving us some time today. Let everybody know where you're located and what you got going on in the cannabis community.
Man, I really appreciate you having me, man. And I really love what you guys are doing. I watched several of your clips on Instagram and I followed your channel. Really like what you guys did with my buddy Emmett on the show. And just, just the cannabis community is such a under served community in my estimations. And we've made great strides, since a lot of the legalization has happened, especially here in California, but around the country. So it's really just great to see, and it's a cool time to be alive. So I salute you and all the people out there that, do some good work for people like us who have been maybe in love with the plant from day one,
Sure.
or just want to see where it's going from here and how we can use it more to, just heal people. The herbs are for the healing. So a little bit about me. I grew up in California my whole life. I used to stay in Southern California, Los Angeles, all Southern California. But now I'm out in Riverside and I just love it, man. The people, I'm a family man now. So when I was in Los Angeles, I was still a child, but I fell in love with the plant and I've started to grow it, use it more for just not even just recreational, but for, the healing properties of it, the CBD, I use, the roll on. So I'm just all about it, man. And I'm just glad that the stigma around it isn't so strong anymore and that we can enjoy it more freely and speak about it on platforms like this and it be respected as the healing magical plant that it is.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. Yes, we did speak with Emmett, your co-host of the Kush and Chemtrails podcast. So I definitely want to hear a little bit more about that. Your side of things as far as how you got involved. But the show is my first time, so please let us know about the first time you got high.
Oh, definitely. So I was an athlete and I had a pass in high school because whenever the guys would be smoking or drinking, I would always use that, I'm an athlete because I played basketball, really wanted to stay locked in and using those things to stay away from, some of those distractions was worked well for me. Well, when the sports career didn't take off like I expected it to, I was a late bloomer smoking. I don't think I smoked till I was about 17.
Okay.
I was at a party and like I said, my varsity dreams had faded away. And finally, I gave in to the urge and hit my first. As you see, I smoke. I went from smoking Swishers. Now we smoke Leafs. But I've always been a blunt smoker. Most of my life. Emmett tells me I waste a lot of weed that way because he's a bong guy. But somebody passed me a blunt, and kind of like what Emmett said, man, my life's never been the same after that. We were on a couch, and I just remember me and my buddy just sitting on that couch and just laughing hysterically, and we just couldn't stop, and it just felt like the best feeling ever. And the whole way home we're still laughing and just the most random things, and it was so awesome that I just knew instantly that dang, this is something that I really dig. And you know what, my love for weed is so strong that it kept me from doing other drugs, which is counter to what a lot of the people, the experts would say is like back in the day, like weed's a gateway drug. But I loved weed so much. I knew if I loved this so much, I was like, I don't want to try anything else. Because if there's anything stronger than this or better than this, then I'm gonna be a crackhead or a cokehead because this shit feels so great. And yeah, I just kind of stayed in my lane. Weed has always been my thing of choice, and it just makes so much sense because it's natural, and alcohol is more accepted, but it's very harmful, and it tears your body up. And yeah, I'm just more about the natural healing. So yeah, that was my first time. And I remember a dope story about my second time too. I was at work and these older guys that I sold cell phones with. So I was working in a mall kiosk, and they were like, "Hey, Buck, come hit this with us one time." And I was kind of hesitant, but since I had that great experience at the party, I was like, come on, let's do it. Oh my God, that wasn't a good decision. I couldn't focus for the rest of the day. I'm in that kiosk like, oh my God, please don't come talk to me. The world just seems so big. Like it just opened up a whole nother dimension. So yeah, for me, weed spoke to me from day one, and I just it's a part of my life. It's probably my number one love.
What's the wife think of that?
She's supportive. When I first met her, she said she never been with someone that smoked, but she said like it doesn't really affect you though. She's like, I don't notice you act different or whether you're high or whether you're not. And so it never really bothered her. She smokes occasionally. She'll hit a pin with me every now and then. But yeah, she's super supportive. She knows I handle business, so it's not like one of those stereotypes where weed makes you lazy and all that.
Yeah,
Even though I
yeah.
will say I've become a sativa guy,
Okay.
especially during the day, because you got stuff to do, and sometimes the indica gives you that couch lock. So
Sure.
I still smoke, but I'll probably have a sativa during the day.
No doubt. Awesome. Yeah, my girl says I don't love anything more than weed, and I'm like, oh, come on, that's not true, but it might be true.
Yeah.
I
You
know
know
she
what? My
gets
wife is
jealous,
probably
but yeah, she doesn't partake. Sometimes she'll do some edibles, whether it's CBD or HHC, or she did do some. We were at a conference, the KushCon in Tampa recently, and she kept taking.
nice.
They were giving away samples, and I'm like, "Do you understand what you're doing?" And she was whacked out for like 2 days. It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, those
Uh,
ingestibles will do it.
yeah, yeah. And man, there's a good story about the first time she ever dabbed. But save that for another time. But
Oh, I'm a dabber too. So yeah, I'm a bad influence because when I bring around my dabber, people are like, "Yeah, let's do it," and then next time they see me, they're like, "No, stay away." You didn't warn me, and I'm like, I'm sorry. For me, it's not that big of a deal anymore. But here's another cool story about dabbing, and I want to give a shout out to my brother Smokey, Smokey D's. He's a comedian. Check him out, Smokey D's. He introduced me to a brother who put me on the dabbing, and that brother actually passed away. But me and him developed such a bond. Every time I would see him, he would want me to try all his new dabs and all this. And because I was one of the few people that would go there with him. Everybody else was like, nah, nah, nah. But I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Bring it on. And long story short, the brother passed away, and he gave me his dab rig. He wanted me to have it. So it's an honor for me. I still have the piece. It's like 10 years later, and that's
wow.
still my primary. I wish I had it to show you right now. It's the one you see on the podcast that has Kush and Chemtrails. Matter of
Okay.
fact, the promo picture I sent for you, I'm holding it. So
Okay. Nice.
yeah, man, that piece means a lot to me, and he's the one that put me on the dab. So yeah,
Okay.
his spirit lives on every time I take a dab.
Nice. That's
That's my
great.
man. Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
awesome. Uh
The weed, man. The weed is great connecting. Great social. Like I'm not a very social person, but this thing opens you up, to being able to tap in with other people a little bit better. For me.
yeah, no, 100%. I've been involved in the music industry, and there's a lot of great people in the music industry, but you've got egos and backstabbing, and people don't live up to what they say they do. And in this community, I mean, you're certainly dealing with a bunch of stoners, but at the same time, it's like way more laid back. You can easily talk with someone in their 60s, someone in their 20s. I'm 40, so like it's easy to carry on a conversation and build a community when everybody's kind of just chilling, hanging out, focused on just relaxing and enjoying this plant, whether for medicinal or recreational purposes. So yeah, like yourself, it's the community's great. It's still very small. I tell people, like, it's still really small. Like, this is why we started the show, is I was trying to figure out a way to like start building a community and a network. I moved to Orlando a few years ago. I don't really know anybody down here. So, this was a way for us to kind of build a network in Central Florida. But I got to ask before I forget, the shirt, you got an apple with a pot leaf on there. Is that,
Yeah,
oh,
iPod.
iPod. Okay. I just see it now.
But see,
Sorry.
that goes right into what you're talking about, man. It's the great connector. And man, I love that what you just said, because especially we talk about it on the podcast right now, we need to be connected more than ever. So that's why you seen me cheesing when this interview started, is because this means a lot to me, brother. The cross networking, just sharing, because they're trying to censor us, they're trying to tear us apart, they're trying to divide us. There's a lot of group think going on and mind manipulation through the media, and they're being blatant about it now. They're not even hiding it. They're telling you this is what you should think, and this is a lie over here. It's like they don't even trust us to be adults and make decisions for ourselves. So, like you said, the connecting between ages, races, everything, just like kind of hip hop does and music does, like this plant does. And I'm into both. And that's really like what our podcast is about, is just shaking away the narratives and just being people again. Like, hey, we don't know everything, but we're willing to deal with these tough issues and try to get through it and try to make fun of it too, make light of it. And life doesn't have to be so doom and gloom all the time. And I think when we get together in fellowship, we remember that, so yeah, man. I remember when I first started going to dispensaries, like 10, 12 years ago, when they first opened up here in Cali, because we've had it for a minute now. I would see old people, and I'm gonna be honest, old white people at the dispensary, and I'll be like, huh? Like, I thought you guys were the people that's judging us for being the old potheads, and here you are right next to me, and we're high-fiving and having a dab together. Matter of fact, I had my very, very first dab before the brother that I mentioned at the dispensary. They had the dab bar, and I'd be in there dabbing, and you can't drive away when you first take a dab, so you go sit down and you're talking to people. So yeah, man, the fellowship is one of a kind. I've met people city to city. Oh, to get to your question, this is from Detroit.
Okay.
We were in Detroit, me and Emmett, on one of the tours that we did. I know he mentioned several of the tours. I was there for most of those, brother, because I was a musician as well, but since I didn't have some of the opportunity that Emmett had, I'd do what I had to do. Hey, man, I'll come and be your road manager. Hey, I'll be your hype man, And then one time, me and his son actually performed alongside with Emmett. Like, we had songs that we performed too. So, and then one time he brought out the band, but I was still there, So those were great times, and we met so many cool people. And they had underground dispensaries in Detroit, and I was looking for some bud, and I found these people, and they brought me in. And the way they had to do it at the time is because it wasn't so legal out there, so it was more like a club. You had to join their club, and then they can smoke with you, or let you donate, for some plant. And yeah, man, so they gave me this t-shirt, and I've been repping it ever since. I'm one of those people, I keep shit forever. So this t-shirt's probably like 8 years old.
Nice.
But yeah, things mean stuff to me. It's more than just the clothing. It's the meaning behind it and shit. So thanks for asking. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Even this hat right here, like this hat was bought at a local smoke shop, and it was made by a local artist. So yeah, you'll often see me on my podcast shouting out local vendors, local artists, because fuck it, man, these corporations are whooping our ass, but everybody wants to walk around and be a billboard for them. Like, no, fuck that. I don't do that. So I try to really be about what I be talking about,
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Which is why I like the Kush and Chemtrails podcast that you and Emmett have going on. Um, People might not know what the Overton window is, but it's really like a range of allowable discussion where, uh, we're not allowed to talk about certain things. We're adults, but if you talk about something too far in this direction, you'll be called this. If you talk about something too far in this direction, you'll be called this. Even just questioning something, um, you're labeled so and so. So, all right, little technical difficulties. We're back, but no worries. We're still here. We've got more for you. So we were briefly mentioning the Overton window, and which is the window of allowable discussion. And maybe some people know that phrase, maybe they don't. But it's one of the things I like about your podcast is you guys aren't afraid to talk about certain things. So. Emmett said in his episode that you guys worked together at some point, and that's how you ended up starting this podcast.
Yeah, man, that's an awesome brother, man. He helps me learn so much about myself, and I think he would say the same, vice versa, because we think very, very similarly, but obviously we come from different backgrounds, you know. And the great thing is, like, when we first met, he's a little older than I and a little bit more experienced, obviously, even in the music. We were both doing music at the time, so I was learning from him. But then at some point, I started to instill some of the things that I had learned on my journey, you know. And, you know, a lot of the knowledge that I had come from was like more from the Black experience, you know, like, the conscious Black community, you know, from the tradition of the civil rights and, you know, just that whole fighting against the Black Panther and just standing up for the people. And he was speaking from like an occult, esoteric, a lot of history based, and just hidden knowledge, you know. And we would share with each other, and it helped us clarify and expand on the things that we thought were true and help us even reach higher heights, you know, because we could cross reference different material maybe we weren't privy to before, you know. So yeah, me and that brother, we're really like brothers from another mother, you know. And yeah, we just learned so much from each other. So it started from then to now. And when we came into this one now, I wanted to be like on the even level with him. Like, it wasn't like an ego thing or a money thing. It was just like, bro, we got to be partners, man, because this whole time in our journey, you've kind of been the big brother. But I felt like now I got kids too, and you know, I got a lot to put, that I could put on the table, you know, that I could bring to the table. Where before I was more so like the sidekick, you know, just willing to learn. And yeah, so that's what's been great about me and his growth. Everything you see on the show is organic and it's real because it's just us sharing something that we started like 15 years ago, and now we just put it for the public's consumption. But we never really stopped at any time, like seeking the truth and just um, being conscious of our evolution, because we all evolve. It's just some of us choose to take part in the evolution, you know, instead of just sitting back and dealing with the changes as they come. So it's challenging as hell, but I wouldn't have it any other way, you know.
Yeah, if there's not challenge and struggle, then you're probably not growing physically or mentally or spiritually even. It takes those obstacles and setting goals and achieving goals and going through the struggles to find out who you are and what you're capable of doing. So
Yes,
uh
sir.
yeah, I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And thank
Um
you for this opportunity, man, and just vibing with you for this little bit of time. I'm gonna definitely stay tuned to what you got going on, and best to you and all your team over there, man. I'm appreciating your professionalism and, you know, the way you guys have branded yourself. It's really dope, you know. So like I said, we all learn from each other, man. So appreciate you guys.
yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is, I mean, our show is about bringing people on and promoting what they have going on. So yeah, I mean, we're definitely in the building community business. And that's really what we're focused on doing. Before we run out of time, we mentioned it before we start recording, but lovefrequency.us. Tell us what that's about.
Yes, man. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Lovefrequency.us. That's a website me and my wife started. We wanted to do a family business and something to show the kids like about being, not just consumers in this world, but also producers, So the initial idea was to create natural pieces and make it about healing and love. And what we ended up doing was my wife made a great connection with a source that's like we have a couple actually. I think it's in South America, but where they have access to like stones like amethyst and quartz and just all these healing stones, the tiger's eye, and I have some on right here. Matter of fact, the quartz. So we talk about these things on the podcast. We really believe in the healing of the ancient, the things that have been here forever, the magic and the power and the just the energy behind these stones, these crystals, the different herbs, um, we burn sage and palo santo in the home, to cleanse, the air, the energy. So these are all things that we wanted to share with people and just bring them some resolve, some hope, because it seems in these times everybody is trying to push fear, and people are in a state of uneasiness and uncertainty. And not saying we know it all, but maybe if you tap back into more of the natural, then it can bring healing to the mind, the spirit, the body. You can make clearer decisions, and you can see better what's going on in this 5D reality. Some people are stuck in an old reality, a 3D reality. So I just whether you believe in the healing of those stones or not, it's about the intent. That's what I found. So when you're putting intent into something, then you can shift anything. You can make your own reality. So lovefrequency.us is something that represents our family, and you can buy some of the stones and the pieces that we found that are valuable to us and have brought us healing or wealth or whatever you put your intent towards. So that's what that's about. My wife also does photography, so you can check her out at Timeless by Priscilla. Um, that is Timeless by Priscilla on Instagram. So that, again, that's just another family business that we're doing. So yeah, man, just trying to show the kids, something different, and that you can succeed without having to necessarily follow what we were always told, like, get into school and graduate and get a degree and go work for somebody. I'd rather just create, because that's what feels good to me.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a reason they want you to do all those things, because uh, you're a better worker and you're controlled a lot easier that way when you've gone through a system that teaches you this is how life is. I'm the authority. I'm gonna tell you what it is, and then 12 years of schooling, and then go into debt. You could buy a house, the amount of money it costs to go to college. It's no guarantee you're going to get a job out of college, but it's guarantee you're going to be in debt.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's a messed up world, but for those of us that can see it for what it is and understand that, we can practice principles of self-ownership. We can take care of ourselves first before we can help others. Health and wealth, which I see you're doing there with you and your family. So that's awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. We have no idea what uh, all these electronics were around. We've never lived in a time where we've had. I mean, whether you want to believe 5G is good or bad, we've just never been around anything that's been this powerful, this crazy. Everybody's got cell phones up on their ears, or I mean, I'm guilty. I wear AirPods at the gym, and like we have no idea what the pharmaceuticals, whether it's in our waterways, the chemicals that are in our waterways, the chemicals we drink. We have a purifier because the chemical plant, they put chlorine in our water a block away. We can smell it every morning. So I mean, this wasn't like this 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. So we're definitely living in strange times, and I guess we're just along for the ride right now. So,
hey everybody, I want to quickly mention food forest abundance. Food forest abundance is a great way to create your own self-sustaining food forest and naturally occurring ecosystem that's commonly found in nature, but designed specifically for you. Through multiple layers of trees, shrubs, herbs, vines, rhizomes, mushrooms, and perennial vegetables, you can become your own supply chain without the typical maintenance required of a garden. From small spaces to large areas, both urban and suburban, Food Forest Abundance wants us to get back to our roots in nature by engaging with our food production in a meaningful way. For more information, click on the link in the description below and start your journey today. Okay, let's get back to today's episode.
Man, you said it perfectly, because those are concerns that are near and dear to me as well. And that's another reason why we try to bring the natural modalities, because people are looking for answers. They know things are contaminated. They just need some hope on what to do. Like, even if you're just outside right now, like I am, like, take your shoes off and put your feet in the dirt. Like, me and Emmett are so like proponents of the simplest things, that people have overlooked, but can be helpful. The putting your feet in the dirt allows negative and stale energy, like to escape from the body, and allows fresh electricity, fresh electrons into the body. So it reduces like inflammation and swelling and just the simplest things, but we miss it, like breathing exercises, like, just the power of that. So yeah, you're spot on, man. And oftentimes when we talk about those heavy things on the pod, I try to like do what I'm doing right now. Like, look, people, we can do this though. Like, we just got to choose to, So people like you though, and shows like what you got going on, and then like just the power of one more. Shout out to Ed Milet too. But just, yeah, the power of just reaching one more, and we can take the power back, little by little, because we always have the power. It's just a matter of what do we want. And we have chosen convenience up to this point, and materialism, and corporate takeover. So as soon as we choose something else, we can have a different reality. So that's where I'll be, and I hope more people come on our side.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Dude, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Please let everybody know the best place that they can find you.
Please just go to @Buc Ballzy. That's BUCBALLZY on all social sites. And then just check out our show, Kush and Chemtrails. We'd really appreciate it, truly, because our shit gets shadow banned, as you would imagine. Like, really, YouTube can never house a show like ours. So we're only there for now because it's necessary in the game that we play. But the more support we get from the people, we can build better and do better and get it off of YouTube completely. Like, we already have our Patreon that you can subscribe to for as low as $5 a month. So that's a minimal contribution. So every $5 helps, though, as you know, as a content creator. So even the likes, the shares, the subscribes, like, just help us get out there more, because the platform's not going to help us at all. Emmett just shared a number with me. We just started our BitChute like a month ago, just because YouTube was threatening to cancel our channel. We have 2 strikes. So on BitChute, we only have like 20 subscribers, right? And on YouTube, we have 1,000 subscribers. Emmett drops a video on BitChute. The video shoots up to like 50 views in like the first 3 hours. On YouTube, that video had like 10 views.
Wow.
Even though we have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and only like 20 on BitChute. But really, the podcast is where you'll find my unfiltered opinions. Yeah, Buc Ballzy and CushandChemtrails.com. That's it.
Excellent. And if you're watching this on YouTube, go down there, smash the like button for Buc Ballzy. Show him some love on the Kush and Chemtrails podcast. We'll have those links as well, so you can go subscribe on YouTube. And if you are watching this on YouTube, you need to make sure you subscribe to Dro TV, because otherwise you miss amazing guests and great interviews like this one. So Buc Ballzy, appreciate it again, my friend. Thank you for coming on Dro TV. And as always, smoke them if you got them. What's up, Dro TV family? You can now stream the audio version of all these episodes on your favorite podcast player. And if you like more episodes like this, check out this playlist we put together over here for you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. You don't want to miss more great content from Dro TV. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, smoke them if you got them.